As a quarterback, Bart Starr was a model of efficiency. As a man, he was, and still is, a model of good behavior. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't swear. He leaves the vodka out of his screwdrivers, gets his hair cut regularly, and when he played with the Green Bay Packers, he often insisted that his teammates put their dirty towels in the laundry bin to make the team manager's job easier. Now, don't get the idea that Bart Starr was a wimp, because he wasn't. In tough pressure situations, he filled the soft spots with steel. He played in 6 championship games and won 5. He once threw 294 consecutive passes without an interception, and that's a record that might never be broken. But perhaps the most significant fact about Bart Starr was that he had the ability to adjust, to work, and to grow, and most importantly, to eventually become what his quiet but driving ambition demanded: to be a champion.
Hello, I'm Bart Starr. I remember something Coach Vince Lombardi told us when he first came to Green Bay. He said, "Fellas, there are planes and trains and buses leaving here all the time. And if you don't produce for me, you're going to find yourself on one of them." Being Packers, we've never forgotten that. There is a certain mental burden about playing the position of quarterback. But let's go back to starting of training camp each year. Coach Lombardi approaches training camp with a thought that from year to year, regardless of how long you've been in this league, you tend to forget things that you've learned the year before. And I certainly concur in this feeling. And so we will start, let's say, for example, in the passing game, we'll go back and start right from the basics each year and build up to where we can develop a good, fine passing game. The same thing with our planning of strategy, with our running game, how the two can complement one another and so forth. So we go right back to the basics each year and work up to them. Now, as this progression takes place, I think the burden, the mental load sort of builds up too, because as we start to approach ball games, all these things start to get on your shoulders, start to get on your mind, and you hope work them into the pattern that the coach is seeking. And of course, this is one reason we have preseason games and so forth. You hope to, by the time your season starts, to work some of these problems out. Regardless of the burdens, I wouldn't swap it for any position on the ball club. I suppose Coach Lombardi, coming in there, that the first thing he wanted to do was to make a very tough impression on us, to show us that he was not going to put up with any sort of foolishness and that things were going to be his way and only his way. And he did. He showed us the first day. In fact, there was a standing joke around there after the training camp was over that if Hog Hanner came back to training camp the next year, they were going to reserve a room for him at St. Vincent's Hospital there, because he passed out a couple of times during training camp. It was just a vicious training camp. None of us had ever been through anything like that before, knew nothing of what to expect, and he darn near killed half of us. All he asked of us was for us to believe in his system, to believe that if we did things the way he wanted them done, and not to ad-lib and do things as we thought they ought to be done, that we would have a winning football team. He said he wasn't sure exactly how long it would take us, but he could guarantee that we would win.
first met Bart Starr, my first impression was that he was probably just a little bit too polite and maybe just a little bit too self-effacing to be the real, bold, tough quarterback that a quarterback must be in the National Football League. At that time, the opinion around here, and in fact the opinion in the league, was that Starr would never make it. They said he couldn't throw well enough, that he wasn't tough enough, and that he had no confidence in himself, and that no one actually had any confidence in him. He's highly intelligent, though, and a great student of the game. And I found out that he's tough enough, and he does have the ability, and that his arm and the ball handling techniques that he possesses are as good as any quarterback in this league. What he needed was confidence, because when you combine intelligence with sensitivity and sincerity, the individual tends to be tense. Contrary to the opinion of many, he does have an arm capable to throw the long touchdown pass. But actually, he's a great one at picking the defenses apart. He gets more joy out of throwing the singles and doubles and picking those defenses apart. He still tends to be conservative, because that's his nature. But with success, I've seen his confidence grow.
Taylor into Cleveland territory at about the 47 or 8-yard line, and again it is Vince Costello who made the stop for Cleveland. Frank, so far the footing has not been too treacherous as we view it, I would say, from our television booth.
I would say the field is in excellent condition, Ray. The footing is good, and it certainly can either be a running or a passing day. Weather will not play any part in this game that I can see.
Second down, 5.
3:54.
Starr, he's throwing for Dale.
excuse me, Ray, let's take a look at that on replay. The Packers scoring here early in the first period is to Carroll Dale, who's running a sideline and down against the Cleveland's cornerback, Walter Beach. Beach overruns it. Carroll Dale comes back into the middle, and some nifty footwork against Larry Benz, and he goes in for the Packers score. The kick.
Chandler trying for the 7th point. It's up. And so, with the Packers leading 7-0, we'll be back at the championship game with Green Bay's kickoff in just a moment.
No one is perfect. Nobody can be perfect. But by striving for absolute perfection, you raise yourself notches above what you may have been content to be. And I think this is the law that he governs himself with. He tells you that if you give anything less than the best that you have within you at any time, regardless of the situation, regardless of the consequences, that you're cheating yourself, you're cheating your teammates, you're cheating professional football, and you're cheating the fans who have made the game what it is today for you. But most of all, you're cheating your maker who gave you that God-given talent with which to succeed.
In 1958, the Green Bay Packers were the worst team in the NFL. Their quarterback was a shy, courteous young man named Brian Bartlett Starr, who seemed to be living proof of the old adage, nice guys finish last.
We beat Green Bay 40-0. And then Bart just had a miserable game, and the fans were booing him in Green Bay, if you can imagine that. And after losing 40-0, instead of ducking his head and running for the tunnel, Bart came over and congratulated us. Great guy.
In 1959, the Packers hired coach Vince Lombardi, a determined winner who had no patience for gracious losers.
Well, I think that Coach Lombardi probably felt that I wasn't strong enough to be the leader that he was looking for. He was volatile, explosive, impulsive, loud, abrasive, nasty, if you will, and I wasn't. Probably I gave the impression to him that I wasn't as strong a leader maybe as he had hoped for. But what he didn't know was what was underneath. I really think that performance always speaks much louder than words.
In 1960, Starr's steady performance earned him the starting role, and the underdog Packers fought their way to the top of the Western Conference. While running backs Jim Taylor, number 31, and Paul Hornung became national heroes, the quarterback who gave them the ball was ignored and often blamed for the team's failures.
What the hell kind of of football is that we're playing out here today? Oh, God. Oh, get him out of there, will you?
Belittled by his coach and bullied by his opponents, Starr's faith and courage were constantly tested. He stood up to the punishment and abuse with a quiet defiance, and even Lombardi soon learned that Starr's gentle nature gave no hint of the fire that glowed within.
A lot of people mistake kindness for weakness, and Bart Starr stood up to Lombardi every time he should have.
I told him, I said, look, Coach, I said, I can take all of the chewing you want to dish out. And I said, I understand your personality, and that's all well and good. And I said, that doesn't bother me. I said, but what does bother me is the fact that you're telling the team one thing, that you're expecting certain things of your leaders, of your quarterbacks, and you expect me to go out there and lead them. And I said, I can't do that if you're going to chew me out in front of them. I said, now, if I've got a chewing out coming, fine, but do it in the privacy of this office where you apologize to me when you know you're wrong. I said, otherwise, don't ever expect me to go out there and be your leader. And he never, ever raised his voice to me again.
The competitive fires in Bart Starr were well banked and deeply hidden, but Lombardi fanned them to a blaze, and Starr changed from a man who used to lean on his team to one who could lead it. Starr was a player that Lombardi never thought would make it, but few coaches ever got more out of a player than Lombardi got out of Starr.
Starr always seemed to me to be an extension of Lombardi on the field. Bart was, I think, the perfect coach's quarterback in a sense that if Lombardi said, here are the 6,000 things I want you to do, Bart would go out and do probably almost all of those 6,000 things. And he always played the percentages. Smart percentage player, not a gambler. In other words, if he had a back who was covering a receiver tight, the ball was always low. Bart knew that there was a chance that the ball wouldn't be caught, but no chance that it would be intercepted if it was thrown that way.
Bart Starr is probably one of the purest gentlemen you'll ever want to meet. But on the football field, he'll cut your heart out and show it to you. He probably completed more fourth down and one passes than anybody in pro football. People don't remember him as that, but I have, because I was on the sidelines and listened to the discussion, and Coach Lombardi say, what's he going to call? Is he going to run it on fourth? And I said, Coach, you can bet he's going to throw it.
I think the quality of a great leader, of a great quarterback, is being able to deliver when you have to. Anybody can play when there's really nothing at stake, regardless of the game, regardless of the situation. But I really think the measure of the player is how well he plays under pressure when you have to win.
Above all, Bart Starr was the consummate pressure player, and he proved it by winning 5 championship games, more than any quarterback in history. In 1966, Lombardi's Packers won their second straight NFL championship game and 4th league title when Starr threw 4 touchdown passes to defeat the Dallas Cowboys. Later, in the first Super Bowl, the Packers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 35-10. Starr was named the most valuable player, and the coach who once doubted him had by now become his biggest fan, and together they went on to make pro football history. In the 1967 championship game, a small step for Bart Starr was a giant leap for the Green Bay Packers, who became the first and only team in NFL history to win 3 consecutive championship games. In the second Super Bowl, the Packers crushed the Raiders 33-14, and Starr was again named the game's most valuable player. Unlike most of the great quarterbacks, Bart Starr was made, not born. And the lessons of his life seem clear.
One of my favorite quotes is from William Jennings Bryan, and I think it sums up how I feel about my career and what I was able to accomplish when he said that destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. It is not something to be wished for, it is something to be attained.
Bart Starr, whose mind and arm played a vital chapter in the Green Bay's success story. In the Packers' versatile passing attack, Starr calls on Boyd Dowling, one of his many targets. Another touchdown strike to Carroll Dale. Paul Horning gathers in this toss for a long gainer. Marv Fleming is on the receiving end of this Bart Starr touchdown toss. And it was this passing game that stunned the Detroit Lions in Tiger Stadium. Trailing by 3 touchdowns midway in the third period, Bart Starr cuts loose. Bob Long makes the grab, and Carroll Dale makes the block. It's a 62-yard scoring play for Green Bay. Starr sets up shop on the Detroit 31 and finds a touchdown bargain in halfback Tom Moore. In this third quarter, Starr completed 7 of 8 passes for 225 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here, Carroll Dale latches on to a Starr area. Gets the goal line clearly in focus and travels 77 yards for a touchdown as Green Bay takes the lead 24-21. Tom Moore opens fourth period action with a 15-yard burst, much to the dismay of Detroit's Bruce Maher. And Starr adds the finishing touch to this stunning comeback victory over the Lions.
Beset by Rams, Starr runs. Dazzling the Rams with an uncharacteristic scramble, Starr almost salvages the long third down yardage, but is angled down at the sideline, and Green Bay must kick.
Now Bart Starr finds Max McGee. He takes it on the 49 or 45-yard line.
Bart Starr back. Firing out for Paul Hornung, who gets it in the clear at midfield. To the 30, the 25, and finally is tripped up by Benny McRae, who saved what might have been another Green Bay score. Starr going long for Bob Long, and it's a touchdown for Green Bay.
Bart Starr fading quickly back to get depth. Now he's throwing deep. For Tommy Moore, he has the ball and steps out of bounds. A 19-yard pass play.
Starr throwing deep. Boyd Dowler's behind his man. He has it for a touchdown.
With a lot of time remaining in the third quarter, here is Starr back to throw again for Green Bay. Under a good rush from Baltimore, he runs it out of there. And big number 81, Ordell Bracey of Baltimore, pulls him down after a gain of about 13. Starr on a rollout. Will he pass or will he go? He's going to go. And the gain is good for 11 yards. A Packer first down.
Quarterback Bart Starr. He hits Carroll Dale for 14 yards as Irv Cross makes the tackle. It's 1st and 10. Starr again. Fakes the ball, sets up, finds Paul Hornung alone on the sideline. Hornung takes it on the 20 and angles in for the Green Bay touchdown.
Starr again going for Elijah Pitts. And look at the beautiful run on Pitts. Finally brought down by Ron Smith at the 1-yard line.
Minute 37 remaining in the half. Starr running with that football, tucks it under his arm so he won't lose it when he's hit, and picks up 21 yards.
Here, he fakes the run. The 49ers defenders are deceived, and Dale is all alone. The play is good for 84 yards and a touchdown, the only score in the first 3 periods of play.
And Starr, finding his receivers covered, is running with the ball and gets 14 yards and a first down.
Trailing it now 20-14, the Packers must go to work. Starr on target to Boyd Dowler, a gain of 19 and a Packer first down.
It's 3rd and 1, and Bart Starr digs for footing on the icy turf. He sneaks in for the touchdown. Bart Starr with 7 seconds. Takes the snap. Play action fake. Running there. He's got to run in. Touchdown!
Seconds remaining on the clock. A bootleg by Bart Starr, and believe me when I tell you, no one saw him go there. He was so far wide open, you knew he could walk into the end zone. And now the tension goes to Dale Livingston. Livingston must kick the extra point. The game is tied, 19-all.
Bart Starr didn't even have any trouble. He just rolled in. A point after attempt coming up. Livingston to kick, Starr to hold. The ball's down, the kick's up, in overhead, it's good!
At 37, Unitas is an old general in the twilight of a brilliant career. So is Bart Starr, the Green Bay Packers. At 36, Starr has known more success than any modern quarterback. His development as a winner can be traced to the influence of one man, Vince Lombardi. Like Frankenstein, Starr was Lombardi's monster, and he translated the master's plan into 5 NFL titles and 2 world championships. During the reign of the Packer dynasty, Starr became the most effective passer in football history, but received little credit. Adulation was reserved for Jimmy Taylor, number 31, the rockin' sock fullback from LSU, and Paul Hornung, number 5, the golden boy. In an era when quarterbacks were idolized, it was Hornung and Taylor, not Starr, who were heroes. Like Unitas, Starr was not colorful, but daring. He took calculated risks by faking on obvious running downs and passing to unguarded receivers for easy scores. Fake once and score. Fake twice and score. Fake again and win the first Super Bowl. Bomb the Oakland Raiders and win the second Super Bowl. Though Starr won 2 Super Bowls, his greatest accomplishment was 5 NFL titles. In 1961 and 62, Starr led Green Bay to consecutive championships against the New York Giants. Dethroned for 2 years, he came back to beat Cleveland in the snow. The next year, his 4 touchdown passes buried Dallas 34-27. 1967 saw a frigid rematch in which Starr scored the winning touchdown on the game's last play as Green Bay won an unprecedented 3rd straight title.